Ah, motherfucker, Richard Rapport made it again. Yesterday he beat Benjamin Gledura in only 25 moves. All the days we have a great game of Richard Rapport. He's the most aggressive player in the world, of course. And all the days, and well, not all the days, but the majority of the days, he makes a masterpiece in just 20 moves. Against grandmasters, it's incredible. Like it's day I should record a new video of a Rapport game because he's always playing spectacular games. So let's see his last masterpiece against Benjamin Gledura, his national team partner. This time Rapport open with c4, Gledura selects c5, and Rapport goes with c3. Who can look like it's a quiet move, but sometimes in the Alapin turns into a so sharp positions. Okay, here there are many moves like knight f6, for example, knight f6 and e5. But Gledura chose d5, which is another of the main moves. Here, Robert takes on d5, queen takes knight f3, and the more typical setups are with the pawn on e6 instead of with the pawn on g6, for example, knight c6, e4, knight f6, something like that. Normal, or for example, knight here, knight f3, knight f6, e4, e6 without the knight on c6. Here, remember that the main move was knight e3. But Ledura chose a setup with g6. This task poses to solve some Sicilians with knight f3, for example. I play these lines in the pass e3. This is like a transposition of this line, so I know a little bit here. Knight f3, d6, here d4, bishop d7, and now the best move was knight d2 uh, to play bishop c4 and winning a tempo at the same time that you develop your bishop. Always is fine to develop pieces with tempos. C takes bishop c4, queen d8, and knight takes d4. And here Gledura selects a strange move. Maybe he knows this move and he had prepared, but looks so strange. Here the normal move was just knight f6, and now white plan was knight to f3, short castle, queen c7, queen e2. Here black have three moves to have played, who is first bishop g4 and just give the bishop pair. Here white is slightly better, but maybe it's the best option for black because, for example, a6 is still developed with rook e1. Black is not clear where he's going to develop the c8 bishop because if you play bishop b7, your e7 point is hanging. And for example, knight c6 here, you can just take rook e1, e6, queen e5, queen e7, queen e2. That you can repeat a little bit, but now h4 was a good move. And again, of course, where white is slightly better thanks to the pawn extractor and the bad black bishop. But instead of that, Gledura plays knight a6. I don't know if he has this move prepared. I saw that there are many games with knight a6. It's not so strange. There are 18 games. It's not completely a novelty. But it's strange, in my opinion, to develop the knight there. And now with white, the plan is the same, like with the knight on f6. And Rapport makes him perfectly everything. In this game, Richard Rapport played with a 100% of accuracy. So castle, knight to f3, queen c7 and queen c2. That's the same plan like with the knight on f6, so it's fast, it's easy to remember. a6 and here rook e1. Black is attacking e7, but in some lines black should just sacrifice the e7 pawn. For example, knight e7, here bishop b3. Of course, you cannot take on e7 because for example, you cannot take here because the c4 bishop is hanging. So you should go back with the bishop, knight c5, and now is the right time to just take the knight and enter in this position where, okay, well, white have the advantage because have a pawn up, but black has black have some counterplay because he have the bishop pair, and always the bishop pair in an endgame was an advantage. But of course, the extra pawn gives white the advantage here. And okay, knight f5 was another option, bishop g5, take. But here, Gledura makes I don't know if say the first mistake or the second mistake because knight a6 is a mistake too. I don't care if he prepared the move or not. Knight a6 is not good, but knight c6 is the first important mistake of the game, and maybe the decisive. After that, the game turns also complicated for Benjamin. He played knight c6, but the problem is just after take here. If you take with the pawn, just queen take d7 and black white is winning. So you should take with the queen, attacking the bishop. But here now, 95, very good move. Of course, if bishop a5, the idea is just stay here. And if queen c5 was the best defense. And here, but okay, white have bishop f4, and white have the advantage. But after queen f6, who is the last mistake of Gledura, the problem is bishop a6, bishop takes, knight f7, play by Rapport, rook f7, queen e7, and just white is winning. Why? Okay, now black have extra bishop for 2 pawns, but the rook is pinned on f7. But the problem is not that white is going to capture the rook. The problem is that white can capture the rook when he wants, but he prefers to maintain the pin on f7. Maybe sometimes the threat was stronger than the action that the capture. Uh, and okay, for example, after bishop f8, queen e4, queen e5, Rapport refused to trade queens because the black king have a problem with the c4 bishop, queen e4, b5, and here Rapport makes a very good move. Instead of just take the rook, he goes back with the bishop. He say, I can take your rook when I want, and your rook is pinned, so you cannot move your rook, so this is a stupid piece, and my bishop is great. So for that reason, he plays bishop b3 here. Yes, this position is completely winning for Richard Rapport. Since queen f6, who is the losing move, but okay, the other two black moves are to bishop takes or queen c5. White still have the advantage. But after queen f6 was so simple for Rapport. Just take, and just this king is unsafe. And the huge problem is you have undeveloped your queen side, because if at least you can play rook a8 or something, but you have no good squares to develop the bishop, and you are not going to have enough tempo. For example, here queen f2 is obligated, king f1, and now all the time the problem is that white is threatening rook f1. That's the huge problem of the position. So, and black tries to win many tempos against the queen, but all the time the threat rook f1 is going to be devastating. Bishop f8, queen e4, queen f5, just queen e4, just refusing to trade queens and threatening rook f1, b5, bishop b3. And here we have the real threat, bishop b7, rook f1, and just taking then on e7, on f7, and just winning the game. So for that reason, Gledura is still trying to trade queens, but in this exactly position, the Rapport says that, okay, you want to trade queens, fine. Take, and yeah, rook f1, rook a7, take, and now the other rook comes, rook f1 again. And here, Gledura ya resign because now white is going to take on f7 with a since up and a pawn. So very easy win by Rapport, but he used to make these type of things. Like 2 runs ago, he won another game in just 20 moves. In the European Team Championship, he won another game with so easy with a great attack. I analyze many games of Richard Rapport in this channel, so let's see his other masterpiece. Bye bye, motherfuckers.